The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
Sorry for the delay.
Sorry for the delay, guys. Waiting for trains, unfortunately.
Well, you don't talk about trains.
Well, what's happened to you?
No, about you and the weekend.
All right. All right, yeah, I got you. There you go. In the end.
Right, Rob, crack on. Okay, Mark, I think you probably felt you were incredibly unlucky against Burnley, but it's another hard luck story. We've had quite a few of those and 4 defeats out of 5 now. This is getting serious, isn't it?
Well, I've said before, I don't think performances have been particularly bad, notwithstanding the 45 minutes in the second half we had against Spurs, which was clearly, from our point of view, not what we expect and not acceptable. But once again, like you said, on Tuesday night, did more than enough to get something out of the game. Arguably, we're the better team. Well, actually, in my view, not arguably. Quite clearly the better team. But Burnley have done that to many teams where they've played the percentages, and late on in games they've got one opportunity and they hit the target. I think they had 2 shots on goal whole game. We beat them in most aspects of the game, in terms of what we produce physically. Every game we chop down into 15-minute periods. There's elements to our play. We want to do well in sprints and all those stats that we always constantly look at to get an idea of how we've actually performed on the day. And our 40-odd stats that we could have looked at, we beat Burnley in almost every one of them. So on that basis we should have won the game. We clearly didn't, because they scored the goal, and the stat at the top of the paper is 1-0 to Burnley, so we have to accept that. But the performance, after getting a lot of criticism and criticism that we accepted, because the second half against Spurs wasn't what we wanted, we took that on the chin, took it on board, and put in a really good performance in the following game, and that's what I wanted. That was the response, and I was delighted with the performance, albeit we didn't get the result.
Are your players too nice this season? I was given a stat earlier on that said Ryan Shawcross hasn't been booked since the 1st of April, and with all due respect, in the current game, for a centre-back not to be booked for 4 matches is extraordinary. But you're very low on the bookings count generally. I know you don't want to encourage bookings, but...
Well, I don't think that's an element of play that was lacking on Tuesday, clearly, because we stood up to the challenge. I think if you saw Ryan Shawcross's performance against Burnley, against difficult opponents who constantly will knock long balls and test your centre house, I thought he was outstanding. So I didn't see any lack of desire or devilment in his play. So I don't think that's something that's running through our team, that we're a soft touch, because that's not the case. But what we found it more difficult to do is obviously keep clean sheets, and that's what you judge by if you're a defender, so you have to accept that. But it's a collective thing, and it's not only down to defenders, it's midfield players, it's front men making it difficult for balls to be played forward, and I thought we were good in that regard against Burnley. We need more of the same at the weekend. I think our fans will accept defeats up to a point if they see performances of commitment and real desire and working hard for the shirt, and that's what they saw on Tuesday. We need more of the same.
You mentioned too many goals conceded. What do you do about that? I've not known this team and a team under you concede so many goals, and certainly cannot concede so many chances.
We've been poor in terms of keeping the top teams out. Vast majority of the goals we've conceded have come against the top teams, against Man City, Chelsea, Spurs clearly, Liverpool to a certain extent, but that doesn't paint the whole story, because in a lot of those games we did okay up to a point, and then the game's gone away from us when we're chasing games. So it's not where we want to be in terms of our defensive work, it's fair to state, but clearly we're addressing that, and we will continue to try and improve that aspects. If we can get clean sheets, then clearly it's going to make it more reasonable to expect positive results. Our goal scoring is okay. It's at a decent level. So there's a number of things that we can do to help ourselves, let's put it that way.
You've always had a great relationship with the owner here and the board. Is that being tested now?
Well, I'll just go back to the owners are fans, and I've said that the fans here are fantastic, have been ever since I've been here, and all they demand is that they see players working hard for the shirt and giving everything, and the owners are fans. They're the biggest fans if you judged by the commitment and what they've done financially for the club. So that's what they want. So if they see a committed performance, they see players working hard and running as much as they possibly can in a game, which is what they saw on Tuesday night, then they'll be happy, because they know if you work that hard over a period, then you will get results. It's a given. So they're understanding. They've been in the game a long time. They know it's not always a smooth path. It's not a straight line. There's peaks and troughs. But if good people are allowed to get on with the job, then often not, you turn things around, and that's their attitude to it, I think.
Tony Cascarino said on radio the other day that, I don't know whether you heard this, that you had the chance of taking the Crystal Palace job in the summer but turned it down. Is that right?
I'm not aware of that. There's a lot of conversations that go on, but why would I leave Stoke City? It just doesn't make sense. I got fantastic support here from the chairman and the family, and I enjoy working here. I enjoy working with the group of players I've got. They're a committed group and an honest group that are working exceptionally hard to turn things around. We're not the only team that have had trials and tribulations at this time of this current season. There's a number of clubs similarly been asked questions about. So we're just one of maybe 5 or 6, 7 or 8 possibly that are not quite where they want to be. But we've got the means to do something about that, because we've got good players, and that's what we'll do.
One of those players, Sale Berahino, isn't part of your plans. Why is that? What's the situation with him, Mark?
It's a wrong phrase. He is part of my plans. He's not getting opportunities at the moment. He's just got to be patient. He's trained a lot better of late, so he's very much in my thoughts. And clearly, if we've got an issue, if we're not scoring or if we're not creating chances, then other people come into my mind. And Saido is very much in my mind to start getting game time, because his performances in training deserve that, and that's the only place at the moment that he's been able to impress me. So if he continues in that manner, then there's no reason why he won't get game time from now and in the coming weeks into the new year. So he's very much in my plans. There's no doubt about that. He's probably a little bit frustrated because like guys that are out with the team, they want to come in and do well and help their teammates. So we've got a squad that each and every one of them has that mentality. So Saido's ready if he needs to be called upon.
Marco Arnautovic is coming back to the stadium for the first time. That could be fun with his personality and his ability, let's be honest.
Yeah.
What sort of reaction do you think he'll get from the Stoke fans? And actually, for the type of character he is, he'll be fired up for this one, won't he?
Yeah, Marco was great here, you have to say. In his time here, we brought him here. He'd had a few issues at previous clubs, and he hadn't really found a place where he could really express himself and allow himself to show what he could do, and he found that here. You have to work with Marco. You have to, obviously, at times enable him to be the best he can be, and there's different ways to do that. So he probably took up a lot of our time when he was here, but the end product was that, for the most part, when he was here, he produced, or he was the creative spark that we needed in games. So I don't think he'll get a good reception, if I'm honest. But I think people remember him with fondness in terms of what he produced for us. So there's no bad feelings from my point of view, or anybody really. But I would imagine maybe the circumstances of the transfer maybe will be fresh in people's minds. But he did great here. He's a good guy, good player. Seems to be, like coming into a little bit of form for West Ham, which is a little bit of a worry for us because we know what he can produce. But hopefully he won't have an influential game, let's put it that way.
What about West Ham? David Moyes, with all the ups and downs he's had in his career, the incredible highs of Everton, where he did extraordinarily well, and some difficult times since at your old club and beyond. Do you think it's a good fit for him at West Ham? He's certainly got them playing well in the last 3 games against some big old teams. Yeah,
he's got them organised. He's getting lots of people behind the ball and blocking people out, and that's the starting point, I suppose. And so initially, when you go in, then you have to obviously go in and make that impact. And clearly, they were struggling in certain areas of their play, and it looks like he's tried to address that. So. That's a good starting point for David and for his position now as well, coming back into the Premier League. So he's a good manager. He's proven that for many years. So he's not lacking in the experience that is needed in the circumstances he finds himself. But he's at a big club that's invested a lot of money. So he's had that experience at Man United. So that will stand him in good stead, I'm sure.
Team news? Anybody? Zuma? Any signs?
Kurt's out, unfortunately, as we suspected. We don't think it's going to be for any lengthy period, but won't be ready this weekend, unfortunately.
Anybody else?
No, I think he's the only one.
Okay. SA back at all? SA back?
SA is not back yet. We expect him, hopefully, if everything goes well with his child, he should be back early next week. Okay.
Anybody else?
Sorry, mate. One more.
How often do you talk to you?
How often do we talk? Almost every day, either to John or to Peter. We're actually out with them this evening as a staff, our annual Christmas dinner, where we're kindly invited by them. So I've spoken to John and Peter today. Peter comes for lunch every Friday, so we see a lot of them. So.
And do you feel that they're offering you the sort of the backing that you would want?
Yeah, well, why wouldn't they? They're good people. They're good football people. They've been around football a long time, and they understand what it's about. And they know they've got good people working for them. And one of their constants is that they allow people who can get the job done to get on with their work and do the job that they paid to do, and that's what they're doing with me.
Any news on Bruno? Is it still?
Bruno's still out for a few more weeks, unfortunately, but I think he's quite happy with the way he's progressing. It's not likely to be the 6 to 8 weeks that we initially thought, but clearly it's going to be probably after Christmas and into the new year before he's available, unfortunately. Okay.
All right, folks. Thank you.